3rd of September, Rabbi Moore, Parsha Hashavua with Rashi.
One in the regular form. Okay. Sorry. Okay.
You have to bring him a question.
So I'll speak to you afterwards. Okay. Now I'm going to finish the shit. Okay. What did I want to say? Yeah, so sometimes you have that. Let's say you want to say, let's say, okay, it's over here, the heads of your tribes. So normally you would say, Roshei Shiftechem, the heads of Shiftechem, your tribes.
That's a smichut.
Right. But here, when you have add a, what do you call it? Possessive, call it? Possessive suffix, right? Saying Rosh Sheichem, your heads. So that's no difference between the regular form and the construct form. If you want to say your heads of, how would you say that? Your heads of your tribes. So that's what I should say. Rosh Sheichem Shiftechem, which means your heads of your tribes. You know, there's no indication in the word in Hebrew between your heads, non-construct, or your heads of, which is construct. Both are the same form, Rosh Sheichem.
I see.
So therefore, that's why it appears like this. But that's why Rashi is pointing out, Rosh Sheichem Lishivteichem means your heads of your tribes. Anyway, that's how the Mizrahi and the Goari explain it. Okay, I don't know why.
I would say the opposite. I would say Rashi, if Rashi wanted to tell us that it's a smichut, then he wouldn't put the lamed in there. He would say it's a smichut. He's putting the lamed in there to tell us it's not a smichut. It's by your tribes.
Yeah, so I'm not sure the lamed means by. Okay, by your tribes, maybe, I don't know.
Anyway, weiter.
Okay, okay.
So let's see. Ziknechem v'shot reichem, your elders and your officers. Sorry, excuse me. Hechashuv kashuv kodem. The more prominent, the farther ahead.
Right.
Closer to the front of the assembly.
Right.
And afterwards, Kol Ish Yisrael, all the men of Israel.
Right.
To show
so
they're the
Rashi's
back.
indicating over here, mention this to back up why he changed the simple meaning over in the previous two words. Whereas because the pasuk's listing all the members of Klal Yisrael in order of hierarchy, so therefore Shiftechem cannot mean just your tribes, because that includes all the rank and file as well. And then afterwards it goes back and says Ziknechem, your elders, V'shotrechem, your officers, Kol Ish Yisrael. So obviously Rosh Sheichem Shiftechem goes together, and it refers to the heads of your tribes. Or you want, according to the way he translated, the heads by your tribes, your heads by your tribes, whatever.
Right.
So that's Rashi saying, because the Torah tells you, Ziknechem, Shotrechem, Kol Ish Yisrael, so you're saying that the Torah is enumerating all the people of the Jewish people in order of hierarchy. So therefore, Shiftechem cannot mean your tribes. That implies the rank and file. And that is, so it wouldn't then go back and say, Ziknechem, your elders, because your elders are more important than the rank and file. He's already mentioned them. So therefore, that's why Rashi says, Roshechem Shivtechem means the heads of your tribes. Okay. Let's go to the next pasuk.
Tapachem, Neshechem, V'ger Cha, Asher B'kerev Machanecha, Meichot Tev, A Techa, Ad Shoev Me Mecha. Okay, so Tapachem is your small children. Neshechem is your women. Now that's interesting. You could say the same argument. You could say the small children of your women.
Okay, but why are they more shy to the women than to you, to the men?
Well, children are more shy to women than men. That's a given.
Is it? Means they are.
Women are the ones that have the children. They're the ones that are primarily the caregivers when they're younger, at least.
True, that's true. But there's no indication to say that that's. You never find elsewhere in the Torah that the women, that the small children are connected more to the women folk than to the men. You just say, it says, Anoshim, Noshim, V'taf. It just says men, women, and children.
Right.
You never find that they call the small children of the women, of your women. Okay. Anyway.
Asher B'kerev Machanecha, and the convert, your convert, who is in the midst of your camp, Meichot Tev, from the hewer, a tzecha of your wood, Ad Shoev Memecha, to the drawer of your water.
Right.
Okay, Rashi.
Your wood choppers to your water drawers. It's interesting you pointing out that the yours is the wood and the water rather than referring to the chopper and the carrier. But anyway, that's an interesting point.
Right. Okay, the hewer of your wood, Milamed, this teaches Sheba'u Ke Na'anim Lehis Gayer, that the Canaanites came to convert Bimei Moshe, in the days of Moshe, Kederech Sheba'u Givonim Bimei Yehoshua, in the way that the Givonim came in the days of Yehoshua. V'zehu ha'amur b'giv onim. And this is what is meant by that which is stated about the Givonim. Vayasu gam hema.
Gam hema
ba'arma. That they too acted with cunning.
Right, so what do you mean they too? Who else has acted with cunning?
Must be the Canaanites.
Oh, so it means it's happened before.
I would think so. The word gam means also.
Right. So therefore that's implying that the case of the Givonim wasn't the first time that this scenario had happened.
Right. Unesanam Moshe. Moshe assigned them chot ve eitzim, hewers of wood,
Wood choppers, the shoyeve mayim.
the show of a mayim, and drawers of water.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So it doesn't really explain what's going on, but I guess what he wanted to keep them separate because so that he gave them specific occupations.
Yeah, I mean, he gave basically they became menial workers. They did not, in other words, the story with the Givonim was that they pretended to come from a foreign country when they indeed were only from, they were actually from the Canaanites, okay? And they pretended to come from someplace else, and they said, we come a long distance and we want to join up with the Jewish people. Heard tremendous things about the Jewish people, what a great nation it is, and we want to join with you. And they discovered Yeshua at the time asked the Urim V'Tumim, consulted, and the Urim V'Tumim told him that these in fact are Canaanites. So, but since Yeshua had made a promise to them that he's not going to wipe them out, so he didn't. But rather he employed them as being water drawers and wood choppers and water drawers. There's a whole discussion among the Mefarshim, were they supposed to be killed like all the rest of the indigenous 7 nations of the land of Canaan, where the Torah tells us in Parsha Shoftim, Lo Sachaya Kol Neshama, right? Don't let anybody live alive, let none of them remain alive. Or now there's a rule as follows, that the Canaanite who moves away from Eretz Yisrael, who no longer is living in Eretz Yisrael, does not have a din of a Canaanite, and therefore the rule, the halacha that applies that one has to wipe out all the Canaanite nations does not apply to a Canaanite who's moved to Saudi Arabia, let's say, or to Jordan. Okay. So therefore, these Givonim, what status did they have? That's a whole discussion among the Mefarshim, because if they had moved away, then they could be accepted as Gerim. If they hadn't moved away, then he should have killed them. That's a major discussion. But anyway, over here, we have a similar case that Canaanites came to convert at the time of Moshe, and Moshe Rabbeinu did not want to accept them as to be fully fledged proselytes, converts. So he said, no, you're going to have we won't kill you. You will be accepted to be a part of the Jewish people, but not have a full status of a proselyte. Will have a lower status, and therefore he employed them as menial workers. Okay.
What do you mean they have a lower status?
Means because they're not, first of all, they're not fully fledged Jews. They're not a proper converts to Judaism. Somebody who's a proper convert to Judaism has a fully fledged state as a Jew. There are certain limitations, but as far as everything else is concerned, right, he's got a fully fledged status of a Jew.
So these people do not have a fully fledged status as a Jew. There's a halacha for them.
Sorry, there's a status what's called a ger toshav. Ger toshav means a non-Jew who is going to scrupulously keep the 7 Noachide laws, 7 mitzvahs b'nei Noach, but he doesn't want to accept all the 613 mitzvahs. He's willing to be a good, honest law-abiding non-Jew.
I see. So that's their class. They were Ger Toshav.
Yeah, so they were basically had the din of Ger Toshav. Yes.
I get it.
Okay. Let's
Okay.
continue.
So let's see, we're up to 11. La'avrecha biv ris Hashem Elokecha uve alaso asher Hashem Elokecha kores imcha hayom. For you to pass into the covenant of Hashem your God, and into his oath that Hashem your God forges with you today. Am I translating kores as forges correctly?
Yeah, or forms. I translated it rather. I guess you can use the word forge as well. But normally, wouldn't use such a strong lashon, strong expression. Kosh Baruch Hu is forming a covenant with you.
Right.
Literally means to cut.
Oh, right. To cut a deal. He cut a deal with him. He cut a covenant with him. I see. That's interesting. Okay, so now Rashi says, for you to pass, the Yoscha Oved Babris, for you to be into the covenant.
Okay, now Rashi is saying, can I make it just a point over here? Rashi is saying an important grammatical point. Let me just exactly see how I translated this.
Okay.
La'avracha means for you to enter the covenant. Right. Meaning, so la'avracha is a gerund form, meaning it's a noun with a possessive suffix, which really is a verb. Maybe for your passing, if you want to translate that literally, for your passing into the covenant. But which, since that's we don't generally have such a form in English of a gerund form, that means for you to pass, for you to enter.
Right.
For you to enter the covenant. Okay?
V'lo yitachein l'far show. It is not possible to explain it. Kamo le'ha'avircha, as to make you pass or to cause you to pass.
Right. That's exactly what Rashi is pointing out over here.
Ella, rather, kamo la soschem osam. It is like la soschem in the phrase for you to perform them.
Right. Doesn't mean to have you perform it, to do it. That means for you to do it.
Right.
For you to do them. But it doesn't mean for in order to have you do them. That doesn't mean it. That does nothing, because then it would say laha'aseschem. Right? But it means la'aseschem means for you to do them. Okay?
For you to pass into a covenant, derech ha'avada.
Derech ha'avara.
Passing, what?
Ha'avara, with the resh.
Ha'avara. In a manner of passing. Kad hayu korsin bris. Thus, they would forge a covenant.
Kachayu kosei brisos. I have it. Oh yeah, okay. Oisim. This is the way was the method. Oh yeah, you also have it. I've got a slightly different gears over here. I'm just let me see now the chumash which I have. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I also have that. Kachayu kosei brisos oisim. Some have a difference. Kachayu oisim bris. Oisim bris. Okay, anyway, it doesn't make much of a difference. So covenants were made. Okay?
Right.
Continue.
Osin mechitza mikan umechitza mikan. They would make a wall on one side and a wall on the other. V'ovrim bein sayim. And they would pass between them.
Right. By the way, it doesn't mean necessarily a wall. Mechitza means a partition. Means they would create a situation where there was 2 partitions on opposite sides, and they would walk between the partitions.
Right. Kamo shene'amar, as it says, ha'egel asher karsu lishnayim. The calf which they cut in 2. Va'ya'avru bein v'sarav. And they pass between its pieces.
Right. This is referring to Yirmiyah. It says they did a. This is not in a. I think it was with the Avodah Zarah.
So in this case, the parts of the calf were the walls, or what you said, the partitions.
Partitions, right? Partitions. Okay.
All right. I think our time is just about up.
Right. Okay, so we'll stop here.
All right. Thank you, Rabbi.
Fine. Okay. Have a great day.
You too.
Fine. We already got up to Shani. It's pretty good going.
Yeah, that's very good.
Okay. It happens to be only 3 psukim, but
and see you tomorrow.
It's okay. Fine. Have a great day.
Okay. You too. Bye-bye.